What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classic Climb Blog, doing a little pom pom lifestyle living, plenty of money, peace of mind. I was a little late. We had to toast downstairs, okay? But I'm here now, and I brought my guest with me. If you could, guys, drop your city and state in the chat because that helps us determine where we share our great coupon at. So, the ladies here love that. They think that is so that phrase, the pom pom lifestyle. They're like, "Oh, who came up with that?" I'm like,
I own it,
"Billy
baby.
Coach."
I own it.
So, might have to
More,
be
more
might
than
have
happy to
to-
license it to you.
So anyway, okay. So, talk to us. Listen, now it's been a lot, right? We've got food shortages. We've got tankers cutting up. We've got people claiming to be jobless, right? Out here in this world. But we literally saw Denver Airport did a job fair and only 400 people showed up. They were expecting 5,000 and they got 400 people. So clearly, some people are having, somebody put a question mark? Yes, plenty of money.
Yeah, it's pom pom. Here you go. You want to see? Plenty of money. Peace of mind. Lifestyle, baby.
So,
you can get your t-shirt.
Miss Toledo, someone out of Toledo, Ohio said they're enjoying DJ's book. DJ, please make sure we always have a link for your book. Many people are requesting that in the comments, and I just didn't have the exact link. So help me out there. If you guys could, you've been following the news, like myself, like DJ, and a lot of you are like, well, Erica, should I just move into the country and grow a garden? You don't have to go completely extreme. There's many different levels to what we'll see coming in the future. Right now, you would think, Erica, we're in the middle of recession. We're on this resort, and there are like 10 homes being built, multi-million-dollar homes being built that are already sold. One of my mentors that's in Las Vegas, I just drove by two of his properties out here being completed. So there is money flowing, and money flows where what? People are clear and concise about what they're trying to do. Money doesn't follow confusion. Money follows clarity. So a lot of people said, well, the rich just got richer. Well, are they not clear in their mission and clear on where they're trying to go? That's usually why the richer get richer, right? But DJ, talk to us. You got 5 good tips for us, I heard today.
Oh yeah. And these are secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5 secrets to building the pom pom lifestyle in the winter.
Uh-huh.
And the great thing about these things, Erica, I have been applying these for 20 years.
Okay.
And 5 of them I've actually applying specifically with members for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So this ain't something I just read a book on. This ain't something I hopped on social media and became a YouTube scholar in 5 minutes, 5 months, or five days. This is something that I've actually put in motion to actually allow me to become free and to allow hundreds of people that have acquired our course, taken our programs to become free. So these are real talk. So let's jump right in. And a lot of these are, and you know what? I'm excited. You know what time of the year it is right now? It's the World Series.
Mm-hmm. And Houston's tripping.
So I'm a baseball guy, right? That's actually how I got the moniker DJ, Coach DJ. And then it became DJ the Money Coach because I've coached a lot of baseball for the last 15 years, primarily young children from age 8 to 15. And I'm not trying to get off track, but a lot of stuff I'm going to share with you lines up to the fundamentals that make people successful in baseball at the highest level. And baseball on a professional level is the hardest sport to have success in because it's based on failure. If you hit 3 hits out of 10 at bats, you get 300, which is a flat F. You will make $1 million as a professional baseball player. I'm going to say that again. If you have 10 shots at anything you do in life and you only get it right 3 times and it's on a baseball diamond in the MLB, you will make $1 million a year minimum. So the significance of this is what I first want to share with people is, number one, this ain't the secret, but I'm just going to add with this. you gotta have a defensive strategy in place. Okay, so I'm gonna preface this top 5 secrets to building a pom-pom lifestyle in the winter, that it all ties into a defensive strategy. And I know your people don't want to hear that, because they want to hear, hey DJ, hey Ericka, show me how to get that lifestyle right now, yesterday, because I gotta have it. But those same people, Ericka, just like myself, when I looked up in my late 20s and I had $60,000 in debt, a 525 credit score, I wanted to get it right away. But you know what? It took me 7 to 8 years to get that debt and to trash my credit score. So if you really want to do this the right way, what my grandfather taught me, crawl, walk, run, then these top 5 secrets are going to be your best friends in life. And I'm speaking to everybody. So I know another thing people are going to say, well, man, I'm already in my 50s. My time is running out. Guess what? This will work for you.
We don't stress out because we're older. We still follow the principles. If you get out of the principles, then things go whack, right?
Exactly.
You start doing risky stuff,
exactly.
trying to make a shortcut.
Man, and check this out. This is why this relates really to baseball. So I want you guys to look up Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker is a Hall of Fame manager, but one thing is missing on his resume: a World Series championship. And guess what? He had 2 legitimate shots at winning the World Series where he had the best teams both times, and he screwed it up. And you know why he screwed it up? Because he went to his emotions over his discipline and brain. I'm going to say that again, because Dusty is known as a player's coach. And you know what that means? That means that he don't have a lot of discipline. He gets along with them, and he's buddy with them, so they like him. But when he had to make a disciplined move in 2002, when he was the manager of the San Francisco Giants,
right,
he fumbled, left the pitcher in too long, and they went from leading the World Series to losing in Game 7. It was a catastrophic upset. Then my hometown, he was the actual manager of the Chicago Cubs. And he did the same thing again in 2003. He let a player stay in the game too long at shortstop, and that player made an error that took us from being up 3 games to 2 on our home turf and losing that National League Championship Series 4-3. Now, at that point, Dusty Baker went off and coached, and he'd been out of baseball from a managerial standpoint for the last 6 years. But when the Houston Astros had their scandal of cheating in baseball, they wanted stability. So Dusty Baker is now 72 years of age, but he stayed the course and got back to some principles, and now he's in position at 72 to win his first World Series championship. So I want you to think about that and let that seep in. And now let me tell you what these secrets are. And these are what I apply, Ericka applies, and these are what the millionaire next door applies. Okay? Number 1, we own and control 240 properties in Detroit, Michigan. We've been in that business since 2005. However, folks, yours truly, I got out of that business in 2008 and 2010. I sold all my properties back to my high school friend Clarence for one reason, because the market had crashed. So if you know what went on, the Great Recession in 2008, you knew in Detroit and across the country, if it was a $100,000 house in Detroit, which I owned 6 or 8 of them at the time, they literally overnight went from $100,000, Ericka, to $30,000. I mean, literally, today is Wednesday, and tomorrow, Thursday, that property went from $100,000, $60,000 equity to $30,000 negative equity of like $30,000. Now, I pushed the panic button. So I immediately said, hey, Clarence, and about 15 of my other clients, hey, man, we don't want these toxic assets. Take them off our hands. So over 2 years, Clarence did a seller financing deal with me and our clients, and he paid us monthly payments while he bought all those properties back from us. And in the process, he changed the model and started buying them cash. Now, what does that got to do with secret number one? So guess what? 2015, I'm at the Pacquiao Mayweather fight in Vegas with my number one mentor who retired at 35 as a multimillionaire in the real estate game. And I was needing some cash flow, Ericka.
Yep.
Because I was paper rich, but I was cash flow poor.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So my mentor, he looked at me. He knew the business that we built. He said, guess what? You sitting out here hanging out here with me in Vegas. You got a high net worth and your cash flow is struggling because you still got some young kids that are still under the age of 4. He said, get your ass back into the real estate business. And he literally looked at me. We're on the strip in this multi-million-dollar unit he owned. And he said, if you don't get back into real estate, and I know you don't like it, then don't come hang out with me ever again.
Dang.
Real talk. See, this is real talk.
He was like ankle chop.
Yep. So I looked, I didn't like what he was telling me. So I literally took about 3 months licking my wounds and stuff like that. And then right about October 2015, I picked up the phone. I said, Clarence, I got to get back in this game because it was more about hanging out with my mentor, Ericka, than really buying the properties. That's how much he meant to me. So
y'all was hanging out there.
Exactly. So he said, I was like, I want to come out for Halloween. He was like, dude, did you get some properties? I said, nope. He said, what? Hung up the phone. So I hop on the phone with Clarence. I say, hey, man, I need to get some properties right now. It's October 2015. I said, man, I got about 50 racks. What can I get for 50 racks? That was about as liquid as I had at that time, Eric.
Right.
So he said, hey, man, all right, cool. I'll get you a couple of properties. Clarence turns around, gets me 3 properties for about 30 grand. And with rehab, I had 3 properties, rehabbed everything for 50 grand. Here's tip number 1. This is what I learned. And I always done this, which I didn't know at the time. Buy properties in the winter from October to January. I'm going to say that again. Buy properties in the winter from October to January. 3 main reasons. Number 1, less competition. Number 2, you will run into a lot of times unsavvy sellers because if they're selling in that market and they don't really have a need for the money, they're being unsavvy because they're selling the property when it's not a high demand. Number 3, the people who are selling that are savvy, they're motivated sellers and they're willing to do deals with people if you come to them with a solution for them to get to the next tax bracket. Because a lot of people do what are called 1031 exchanges. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So what you want to be able to do, and this is the model that we've mastered since 2015. We started acquiring properties between $15,000 to $30,000 that were giving us a 7 to 12% net operating income. The ROI was higher than that. The ROIs were from 24 to 38%, but we were getting a net 7 to 12%. So what that would yield us, Ericka, and this would yield the common man and common woman, $600 to $800 in gross rents, but will net you $250 to $150 a month. Now, look at this scenario. If you buy 1 property a year, starting right now in the winter, in the right market, and you can get a property between 15 and 20K, and you just do that for 10 years, here's the impact on your bottom line. Number 1, you'll have 10 properties. If you bought those properties at 15 grand, you'll have $150,000 worst case scenario of assets on your portfolio. But in most cases, with a 7% return, you'll have $300,000 worth of hard assets. If it's a 12% return, which is the market is well accelerated right now, you'll have close to $450,000. Okay. On the passive income side, you have anywhere from 6 to $8,000 without inflation and cost of living increases. Now, if you do the cost of living increases, which is about 3 to 4% annually, your passive income will be between $7,500 to $11,000. So think about this, ladies and gentlemen. And I hear you. I don't have that kind of money. But yes, you do. Because you are spending monthly. If you make, as an individual, $50,000 a year, you're spending about 10 to 12% of your income on stuff. What do I mean? Vacations, shoes, Amazon, crime, Netflix, yada, yada, yada. And you're being overtaxed, right? So if you can pull together in a syndicate or a couple of friends that know what they're doing, like an investment club, you can acquire one property right now. If you live in a household of 2 people married with 100 grand and you're paying taxes at a rate of 37%, that's $37,000 you're giving away right there to Uncle Sam, straight line, no deductions. But I know everybody on this program is pretty savvy and they're not doing it. But in most cases, even the savvy ones, Ericka, are giving up 15 to 20% because here's number 2. They're not fully funding their 401k. So right now in the winter time, it's catch-up time. What do I mean? You have the 1231 to catch up on your 401k. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to reevaluate my contribution to my 401k. If I'm not on target to fully fund it contribution-wise, then I'm going to make a strategic move. You know what that strategic move is, Ericka? Number 3, I'm going to increase my allowances. You may call them withholdings. Somebody make the mistake of calling them exemptions, which they're not, but they're allowances. What do I mean? Who you can write off on your taxes.
Right.
So if I'm a family of 4 with 2 kids, I'm going to automatically take 2 deductions, but I should take 4. Here's what people don't know from a tax perspective. Do you know the reason why taxes are, tax day is April 15th and for businesses October 15th? Because here's the legal parameter behind that. 90% of the taxes that they tax you, Ericka, they tax you by April 15th and June 15th of every calendar year. So if you happen to had less amount of allowances because you wanted to pay less, you wanted to get a return or break even, what you can do is in this season, which I recommend to my members, after June 12th, increase your allowances and start getting some of that flow back into your cash flow. So if you make $50,000 and you do this properly, you can free up $200 to $300 extra a month every year like clockwork. And I give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count, how I can guarantee that. Number 1, I've been doing it for myself for 20 years. Number 2, I've been doing it for our members for 20 years. So when you do this strategy here, you can now put that money into catch up for your 401k. And yes, this ain't sexy, but it's sexy when you get free. Okay? So now you've attacked that. You got the purchase model. And if you freed up that money properly, that's $3,600 a year. You get 2 other people do that you know and trust, you can acquire a property together. You acquire that property together, you get full tax advantages, and you'll get a nice little $100 check every month. And now you open up about 30, 40 more legitimate tax write-offs. And if you put in the proper entity, it can be 100% tax-free. Now, here's number 4. And most people don't do this. Now you're going to be real savvy and you're going to get yourself a health savings account. It is the only account that gives you 3 tax advantage leveraging points, even better than a Roth IRA. I'm going to say that again. A health savings account. Number 1, tax-free contributions. Number 2, tax-free growth like a Roth IRA. And number 3, tax-free withdrawals. I hear you. Don't even say it. But DJ, that's only for health, dental, and vision. That is correct. However, a lot of people, about 30% of the savviest ones, they don't have to use all of their health savings account, and they have that set up when it gets to age 65. It converts back into a traditional IRA if you don't have to use it for any additional health parameters. So now, Ericka, your people can set themselves up, even at 50 for 15 years, and you can put in right now $3,650 a year. And this immediately gives you a tax deduction, and that impacts your adjusted gross income. Immediately, boom, lowers you into a lower tax bracket because you made that chess move. And if you're 50 and above, you can do $4,650. And a family can do double that. So look at this math behind this, Ericka.
Mm-hmm.
And again, guess what? This vehicle has only been around since 2000, 2002. So now, man, if you started right now today, this is what my dad used to tell. He said, hey, DJ, when the best time to, grow an oak tree? I said, what, today? He said, no, yesterday. But the next best time is today. So basically, if you screwed up like Dusty Baker did with the Giants, and like he did again with the Cubs, and now he got the blessing,
Cubs too.
got that discipline, you now plant that seed with the HSA. And now take that 3 tax-free deductions, automatically lower your AGI, and that most impactful one is the Social Security Administration taxation of 7.5%. So I'm, 5th decade on the planet. You're 3 decades on the planet. So we got a great side-by-side model. If I were to start mine today, Eric,
mm-hmm.
and I put my 4650 and I got a 12% return, about time I'm 65, I'll have set aside almost $125,000. If I get 12% and I'm doing it at your age, $379,000. And ladies and gentlemen, this is empirical science. And I'm talking to the people, Ericka, that are doing miscellaneous spending, that they're not counting these little bitty foxes. And I hear you, well, in the pandemic, I cut all my expenses and I'm still, but guess what? A lot of you still go to Starbucks. A lot of you still getting Gruber Eats. Whatever the eat, come to your house. DoorDash, all that stuff. And remember our buddy Tim Jackson said he looked up and he figured out he was spending $30 a day, which ain't a lot of money.
And
but when you add it up over 30 days, that's $900.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just showed you 3 vehicles that you can bring back into your house, a minimum of $300, but maximum you might better bring in $900. And if you started today from 30 to 65, you'll have $500,000 in the bank. If you started at 50 plus, you have $250,000 absolutely tax free. These are the top 5 secrets to building a P.O.M.P.O.M lifestyle, just from the basics. Now, when you get those in place, now you can leverage up, use the proper entity structure, get the proper protection. And guess what? Here's where the defensive strategy comes in. So I'm reading a book that talks about the psychology of money. And he says the number one mistake that people make when they're making a lot of money is that they are always showing how rich they are with what they spend versus their preservation model of how much they keep and accumulate and pay tax-free on it. So here's what you got to have. Every 12 to 24 months, you're going to have some catastrophic event happen in your life. It could be a good one. You have a baby, you got a promotion, or a bad one. And having a baby and promotion, you're going to extend and expand your lifestyle, spend more money, right? But if it's a negative, you're going to have money to actually take care of that negative. And guess what? I didn't plan this for this actual interview. I had 2 of them happen in the same day today. Mm-hmm. I get a call. Don't call DJ in the morning. I get a call, sewer then blew out in one of your rental properties.
Yuck.
I got 125-foot backyard, and I got to cover all that. $3,500, Eric. Then I'm coming back from lunch, and I'm sitting in my kitchen, and I hear this boom. I look out my backyard, side of my fence that connects me and my neighbor's yard together collapse. Guess what? This neighbor, because we got, the wood panel fences, and even though it's a gated community, this neighbor, he puts a full school chalkboard on this wood fence.
For what?
Bolts it down everything because he has 2 little daughters, and he didn't think that wasn't going to have any impact on that fence. So I go knock up on his door. I say, hey, man, what's going on? Oh, man, the fence. I said, you got a chalkboard that goes inside of a high school drilled into the fence. That's not what the fence is built for. So I automatically today, I'm $5,000 in the hole if I haven't been planning for the rainy day. So guess what? Situation number 1, I have insurance with a deductible, albeit a high deductible, but it's going to mitigate my cost on that investment property.
Right.
Also, I'm going to be able to write up, not what I want to do, but I got a plan of action, right? Number 2, with my neighbor, he's going to have to cover that. But the reality is, did I wake up today thinking I was going to be $5,000 in the hole? No, but because I have been applying these 5 top secrets to building the P.O.M lifestyle, for me personally, for 20 years, and then came back and re-engaged literally 6 years ago on the real estate side, it really didn't mean much to me, and it didn't get me my feathers ruffled. But if you would have caught me when I was $60,000 in debt with a 525 credit score, I would have went up to the bank and tried to beat him upside the head.
No, not the fight. Not the fight.
Hey, real talk. Real talk. That's just where I was back then, because that's what stress and lack of money and resources would do to the average person. And when my buddy called me about the rental property, I'd be like, dude, man, why me? I would have been, why me? But at the end of the day, if you start right now, and the 5th one is this. This is the most important one, Ericka. Take all your projections of earnings in business that you have, right? And since this is the 4th quarter, project and sit down. Here's number 5. And guess what? Everybody on here, even the savviest ones, most of them are reactionary. But I'm going to tell you, get in the proactive mode right now, today, and tomorrow, in the next 7 days. Set up a meeting with your CPA or your accountant, your financial planner, and your business strategist, and project what your income has been over the last 3 quarters, and project what it's going to be using the first 4 secrets for 2022 into the first quarter of 2023. And Ericka, if you use these 4 dirty little words, which I talk about all the time, number 1, discipline. Number 2, accountability. Number 3, plug into a proven and tried system, like the 7 spheres of money. Just my own personal, plug. But find a bona fide system like Classy Climb, the top 20 risers. Something that's tried and true, that person's been living and walking that talk for 7 to 10 years minimum. And then number 4, Ericka, put your head down and do the work. And I can tell you, certifiably, I can guarantee your people that in their most dire situation, as long as they don't have a health challenge, they can come from out under their most dire situation in 5 to 7 years. And here's the thing, I hear you. Guess what? If you're in the most dire situation, you didn't get in it in just 1 month, 1 week, 1 year. Your habits, your lack of discipline, your lack of accountability, and being in the wrong system has put you on that pathway. So now let's change that and start applying these rules and apply them with those 3 people to get you down and dirty, and you can come out looking and smelling like a beautiful rose. Because what you don't realize is that rose is in a bunch of dirt, and it had them little prickly sticklers before it gets to that beautiful bloom. That's what we're talking about. So I'm going to strongly encourage your people to, number one, right now, October to January, get you some property and get it in the price zone of 15 to 30 grand all in. I'm saying all in. Rehab, auction, everything. And if you look at the numbers and you get a 7 to 12% return in 10 years, you're going to have minimum 150,000 of equity, maximum of 450,000 of equity, passive income minimum 6 to 8 grand, maximum with adjusted cost of living 75 to 11 grand. And just off of that, here's what you're going to do with that first property, Ericka. You're not going to go spend the money. You're going to pay off your existing debt. So you're going to take that $600 a month and apply it towards that student loan, that forbearance on your current mortgage, that high interest rate credit card that you have. That's where that work and accountability comes from. You're going to pay off your car. And then when you do that and take that increase in allowances after June 12th, you're going to slide that money into catch up for your 401k. You're going to open up your HSA and send the maximum into it. Then you're going to sit down every 90 days with your team and strategize the next 2 to 3 quarters and actually rate yourself, keep score, just like in the World Series. Where are we at? And that's where you're going to engage your offensive strategy, your defensive strategy, and your worst case scenario of the worst kind of lifestyle you want to have. That's how you build to the P.O.M lifestyle with plenty of money and peace of mind. And then when you look up, because 5 minutes, 5 years go just like that, you'll be in position just like Ericka, just like myself, and a $5,000 whoops this morning and this afternoon won't have no effect on your demeanor, your lifestyle, and your peace of mind. That's how this is important to you, because this is what the average millionaire next door does. And even your most savvy investors, they had this plan. And what Robert Kiyosaki talks about, he says have a stable plan, a success plan, and a significant plan, and you plan them out as you're going through life.
Right.
But we don't want that because it's not sexy.
And a lot of times people say we gotta all make more money, we gotta make more money. But 9 times out of 10, for people saying they gotta make more money, if I gave you a piece of paper, could you tell me where every dollar, every dime went this month? No, you couldn't. I've been on the phone hundreds of times, trust me. And I'll be like, hey, what's in your bank account today? Let me go check. How much credit card you did? I don't know. Let me go check. We on a consult call. You done paid money. You want to talk about what's your future. It's not just making more money. Because I can tell y'all from personal experience, you can make $1 million, but if you spend 980,000 of it, baby, it ain't no different than when you was making 100 grand. And now you got some taxes owed on.
Hey, I teach people in our course at $50,000, I can bring in about 15 to 20% more of the money if you never make a more dollar ever again in your life by just attacking these principles through the program. If you make 100,000, we can bring in almost 20 to 30% of your gross income back into your net operating income by attacking these strategies on a regular. And if you take that with the rule of 72 and get a 7% return, everything that you do is going to double every 10 years. Ain't nothing you can do about it. And see, another thing, let me give you a bonus tip. So bonus tip, and this is to go back to when we were talking about the winter is coming and people were like, the Dow ain't down. You're right. The Dow wasn't down whole, but it was down for that day or two. Okay. Mm-hmm. But at that point, if you have applied these first top 5 secrets to building a P.O.M lifestyle, guess what you do? It's on sale and you go acquire some dividend stock and start pulling that back into your portfolio. And like you and like me, Ericka, I make probably $500 to $1,000 a month in passive income just on stock dividend acquisitions that I acquire again in the down market. And a lot of times in the first quarter, the market goes down for a short period of time because they have the new meetings in the White House and the Senate financial committees. So people get nervous. And when they get nervous, what do? They start panicking, and the novices start what? Selling off stuff prematurely, right? Because they're waiting for a report to come out. So while they're doing that, if you identify some significant dividend blue chip stocks with high dividend ratios, you can start buying some of those. And then if you're smart, you can play the long game for your children, teach them how to be a millionaire, and buy them the TAS stocks, which is technology as a service, and play the long game from that standpoint. And we show everybody how to do that, all in that little bitty course called Family Finance 101. And so what we're going to do for the people, we're actually going to show them how, and guaranteed America, an acquisition in the next 30 days of a property for $15,000.
I'm telling you, listen, people, what y'all got to understand is and Blair's cracking me up. She's like, I know all my numbers. I'm broke. Listen, sometimes you are broke, and then you have to decide, okay, what's the thing I'm going to do for 6 to 20 hours on Saturday, Sunday to get more income? Sounds like an Uber situation. Sounds like a gig situation, gig economy situation. Because what can't happen is to go on 2, 3, 4 more years and be broke. Now, I want to acknowledge our super chats first, though, before we keep moving. Over 100 people in here in those super chats. Winner is coming. Boom. Master IT. Listen, you guys, I'm going to tell you now, as officially tonight, later tonight, I will be in Master IT classes, and I will get certifications just to show y'all what 30 days looks like. We'll be documenting the journey. I'll be on vacation studying, I'm going to show y'all what true 30 days of discipline looks like. And I got lots of stuff going on. We got new staff coming in, so that's what's opening up my time. But Royston Gibbs said, what is the rule of 72? Please explain.
Great question. So, Royston, Albert Einstein discovered the rule of 72. Basically, it means this. If you take the number 72 and the amount of interest that you're earning and you divide it into 72, Royston, that will tell you how quickly your money will double for you. So real basic. If you're getting a 7% return on all your investments, you divide that into 72, that gives you 10 years. So that means that all your investments at 7% will double every 10 years. Now, here's the negative side of it, which 90% of people are actually victims of. It'll actually double against you when you're paying the minimum to service your debt that you're paying interest on. That's the rule of 72. So in our program, we teach you how to take the rule of 72 and number one, pay off all your consumable debt, just like I did, and how I've worked with over 25,000 people in the last 20 years doing that. Then the second thing is we show you how to leverage that through scaling through all your expenses. And see, right now we're in super inflation, right? How much is gas where you at right now in Austin, Ericka?
I'm in Puerto Rico. I'm in Puerto Rico. I don't know. I thought it was 3 when I saw it when we drove by.
So think about this. In January, just this January 2021, gas was $1.39 in my neighborhood. It's $3 now. For basic 87 octane is $3. Inflation is biting into everything. When's the last time you had your homeowner's insurance renewed? I just got one of mine renewed. Went up 25% with no claims, no nothing. And I'm fighting the heck out of it. And I called everybody I knew, Ericka, all of my wealthy friends, all of my agents, and they all were getting the same increases. So right now, it's even more important to attack these top 5 secrets to build the pom-pom lifestyle. So you should get on that bus and get into the program so that you can be positioned defensively. Because here's the great thing. We're only going into a catastrophe or coming out of one at all points and times in our lives. So this minor inflection in superinflation, it's going to reverse itself probably in about 36 months. But if you plant them seeds today, you will come out on the right side and have them assets, the passive income, the tax advantages, the leverage entity protection, all because you planted that seed today. But see, most times people panic because they're overspending. So the first thing you need to do is hit a budget sheet, get a budget, look over the budget and scale back and negotiate every service that you have. Mm-hmm. My grandmother taught us this, Ericka, because my grandmother raised 6 children as a maid. Mm-hmm. So I come from humble beginnings. But my grandmother would go into Woolworths. Now I'm dating myself. And she would see a sale and she would go up to the manager and say, hey, can I get a good neighbor discount? Even though it's already been marked down 20%. And it's amazing. If you put a smile on your face and ask what that can do for you. And if you put a smile in your voice and call up your people, your service providers, you'll be surprised that they'll give you a discount. Maybe not all of them, but they will. And guess what? Here's the great thing. There's actually automated services that do that automatically for you. And we can actually show you how that's done. That's the great thing about it. So
I wanted to hit up him for the Rule of 72. Rule of 72 is basically how long will it take your investment to double, right? So at the rate of return. So if your bank's giving you 2%, right, it's going to take 35 years for your money to double. When you see people talking about 12%, and what's funny is some people are like 12% ain't nothing. I can invest my money in the stock market and go higher. 12% is actually really high for comparison. And at 12% with the Rule of 72, it'll take 6 years for your money to double. Now let's say 25% interest. It'll take 3 years for your money to double. 50% interest. It'll take about a year and a half.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when people talk about, I have my money invested in a ETF or REIT that are giving them 2 and 3 and 4 and 5%, I'm not going to advocate that on my channel. I'm literally going to tell you, you want to aim for something that's going to give you 10 to 12% interest, because we're not even talking about the fact that inflation is at what rate this year? I can't remember that percentage of inflation this year. But basically, if your money isn't making, I think about 6%, if I'm not mistaken, it's getting eaten up by inflation. It's equivalent of you throwing $20 out the window every day.
Right. It's right now right about 5.4% right now, which is crazy. So, and then it was coming because of the. See, here's the trigger. Remember when the central bank went down and lowered interest rates to 0 for the retail banks, which was about 18 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
If you have been studying history as an economics person, you would have known that it was going to catch up and start to cause deflation and superinflation. But that's not what people do on the regular. When that cost goes down to 0 and you're able to get these houses and get mortgages at 1.75, 2.15, you're excited. So you overextend yourself. But see, what you also don't take into equation that your HOA fees are going up, your assessment of your taxes are going up, because that only goes up.
I saw somebody's HOA fees were $800 a month. I said, for what?
Right.
They better be coming in my house and cleaning,
right,
and cutting the grass and painting the windows, the shutters, the everything.
Right. Exactly. So at the same time, and if I didn't explain that Rule of 72 clearly, Royce, I apologize.
Yeah, I just went ahead and made sure I just.
Yeah, it's good. And again,
for the snippet, for the clip.
Those are the basics that you should know, and those are the things that are the fundamentals. So I go back to what I said when we first opened up this dialogue: is that look at Dusty Baker. He made some critical mistakes with his emotions, and he didn't use the analytics that he should have applied in baseball when he was the manager of the San Francisco Giants in 2002, and he surely didn't do it for my Chicago Cubs in 2003 because he was a player's manager. So if your emotions are getting you conflicted, put the emotions aside. Get yourself a team and let them bring you the actual information that's empirical, quantifiable, to take all the emotions out and just look at the numbers and the data. And then make a calculated decision with your team on your planning process.
Congratulations, Blair. Started a Kamoy's course this morning, and she's planning on Uber Eats and DoorDash this weekend. That's the only way up. Is up.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You got to get it done. I'm telling you. Look at that, boy. Roy's dropping them dimes.
I appreciate y'all. Listen, I be on the move. Listen, y'all have to understand, when I told y'all that fall of the year was soft reset, I didn't mean dark winter for me. It ain't a dark winter for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna go there. Like, I've really dug deep for many years now. So now all we doing is just turning on the gas for ads and living our life. You know what I mean? Yep. So y'all gonna see more of that in class. We'll talk more about it.
Part of the plan. That's number 5. You executing your plan. You executing your strategy. And now you are taking advantage. So those wealthy people are getting that done. That's the most important thing, is that you got to now put your feet in the ground, and you know how the bonsai tree grows, the Chinese bonsai tree, right? It doesn't have any discernible or visible growth for like the first 6.5 years. But you know where it's growing, Ericka? It's growing underneath the ground, and the roots are going deep. and wide, and then all of a sudden it just sprouts up to like a redwood tree.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you got to be doing right now. So again, if you're a person that's on the platforms and you're looking at acquiring assets, your first acquisition should be property. You should acquire property, 15 to 30K. Get a rate of return of 7 to 12%. Get one a year, and then you'll build up that portfolio in your business. Even if you're self-employed, if you have a business that you do have a 401k, then contribute to it. If you don't know how to contribute to it for yourself, that actually gives you the advantage. And here's the thing, Ericka, a lot of times small business owners don't start 401ks because it makes them contribute without them benefiting. But there was a change in the tax law in 2006 that our CPAs can show you how to leverage it for you as the actual employer as well as for the employee. That's the advantage of having a team of experts that have been doing this through all types of environments.
For sure.
We've been getting down since 2002.
Listen, and people don't realize, like, recessions come and go, personal recessions come and go. You have to keep going. Like literally the math will, I had the guest on, I don't know if you saw him, Eric Coffey came on. He was getting $2 million a year for the past 10 years in government contracting. But what happened is he had ran out of money before he went back to government contracting. He was scared to come to office because he didn't have payroll, and he got them big, strong ex-convicts working up in there. He's like, oh, Lord. And so he called his mentor and said, hey, how much is 200,000 divided by 30 years? So they divided it up, and it came out to $500 a month. So he was sitting here stressing himself out, just, oh, Lord, my business went under. He's like, well, how much is 200,000 divided by 30 years? That's $500 a month. That's nothing, right? And so sometimes it's like, you made $1 million, people, you can make it again, right? But also think about that. If you had assets, you had a couple rental properties, you had a couple trailers, or you had some land, when things go funny, you need to sell them, you do. Because guess what's happening right now as I'm talking to y'all? When people say, oh, ain't nobody selling nothing for cheap, that's not true. I work with people who are wholesalers, and every day they're calling all over the nation, and somebody has an emergency like, DJ. It ain't just one fence fell down, all the fences fell down, right? Or a roof caved in or something crazy. And they're willing to go, you can have that property. You can have it.
Ericka, you know what? It's funny you just said that. Also, there's people who actually part of their strategy are flipping, and they need an exit strategy so they can get that forced appreciation. Guess what? The fact you said that, we have actually found a deal. Yeah, absolutely. You can take the HSA wherever you go. It is portable. Okay. It is portable, Miss Lady L. Absolutely. Okay. So check this out. If you are networked well, it's part of their strategy. So let's say I bought a house as a flipper, right? And I paid a 50 grand for it. I bought it in a market that community, the average house sells for 150. I dropped 25, 30 in it. So I'm pushing in, 80. Now I want to get out of it on paper. I get the forced appraisal. It comes in at 170, 20 over what we thought. That person right now is incentivized to get that extra $80,000, $90,000, because that's on paper. So that person will be willing, for the right person, to do you a deal to actually pay your down payment and your closing costs, because they still will walk away with 40, 50 racks. That's not a desperate person. That's a person motivated to sell, to hit their exit strategy, to get them out of the property in the winter time. Motivated seller. Okay. We actually have found, Ericka, a group of savvy investors with a syndicate. They're actually selling to us 15 properties right now in the next 30 days for the same strategy. They actually bought 20 homes in a development, forced the appreciation on them, and now their expected profit on the whole group is about $500,000. But they need a cash buyer. How many cash buyers are out there on the market right now? Not many. Guess what? We're one of them. So we actually have gone into a verbal agreement with them, getting it vetted right now to acquire 10 of their properties for $15,000 a piece. And even with that sale, they're still going to walk away with about $200,000 to $300,000. And here's the great thing about it. This group only put $75,000 into the whole deal out of their pocket. See, that's when you have to have relationships. And what I talk about, STEAM, science, technology, entrepreneurship, but most importantly, Ericka, access to membership. Mm-hmm. So we're going to parlay our relationship with them through my attorney. So I just reached out to my attorney and said, hey, I was looking to do some endeavors, didn't know she was connected, and she connects me to a player that's been in the game for 30 years. And they have 4 master development properties, Ericka, that they're actually unloading because the rates right now are through the roof. So it's a seller's market, but with the right person and the right relationship, you still get a nice affordable discount. So we're going to walk in to some properties that normally would cost 30, 25 grand and get them for 15, literally in the next 30 days. And they're not struggling. These people that are selling, they actually are on the right side and they plan, and they just need an exit strategy that they can actually wrap it up with a bow and do a 1031 exchange. So if people know how a 1031 exchange works, once you put the paperwork down, you got 60 days literally to make that exchange to get tax-free write-offs to go from one cost basis to step up and pay 0. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. And that's exactly what I'm going to be teaching about in our absolutely next webinar, to show people how to get a guaranteed property for $15,000 in the next 30 days. If they're qualified, we'll roll them through the assembly line and punch out and get them on that pathway. Just that simple. Now, is it easy? No, it's not. It's simple because we've been doing this for 20 years. That's the difference. And so our relationship, our skills, and our ability to actually have cash on hand has afforded us an opportunity that the regular person does not get access to.
So volume and scale. Listen, when you can buy a lot, you get a lot of different conversations.
Yeah. Anybody got any questions? It'll be love to answer some questions for some people, because right now, hey, the winter is here literally for a lot of people, but there's actually a lot of people getting massively wealthy right now as well by just applying these top 5 secrets. And I'm just going to reiterate: purchase property between 15 to 30K, acquire 1 a year, and in 10 years, you'll have between $150,000 to $300,000 in equity, and you'll have in passive income, which is what you're looking for, cash flow, between $6,000 to $8,000. Number 2, catch up on your 401k. If you have not fully funded your 401k, go in by 12/31 and you can invest completely into your 401k. After that, you cannot make any other contribution into the 401k. The Roth IRA and the SEPs, you can contribute to April 15th of 2022, but the 401k stops at 12/31. Okay. If you don't have the money to put that extra contribution into the 401k, then what you're going to do is increase your allowances, because all the taxes that you pay annually are taken out, 90% of them, by April 15th and June 12th, because of the tax days for personal tax filing is April 15th, and for small businesses it's October 15th. So after those days, if you have not been trying to get a tax refund or pay less in taxes, you now can add increasements in your allowances and free up. If you make 50 grand, $200 to $300 extra a month. Now you can take that money, Ericka, put some into the 401k. If you already done the 401k, then you're going to get smart like the person who has the health savings account, and you're going to contribute to your health savings account, get those 3 tax-free contributions, growth, and withdrawals. And if you're wise, like small business owners successfully do, planning by 65, and you don't need it because you got excess money built up in it with a 7 to 12% return, it converts into a regular IRA. Okay. Now, the last thing you're going to do is sit down again with your accountant or your CPA, your financial planner, and your business strategist, and you're going to plan out what your revenues or your personal income is going to be for the entirety of 2022. And how are you going to plan that? By looking at what you have done for the first 3 quarters of 2021. And then you're going to pull that all together, and you're going to do 3 things with these strategies. 1, I'm going to pay off my home with the extra income coming from the passive income that I've derived. I'm going to pay off my debt. I'm going to pay off my car. I'm going to get the proper entity that I put that acquisition into, leverage the tax laws, and I'm going to enjoy tax-free wealth from the HSA strategy. Because here's what you need to do. You need to be looking at Ericka right now and saying, Ericka, I want Ericka at 55 to have A, B, C, and D, regardless of what I don't accomplish in life. That's where an Ericka at 55 is going to love Ericka in her young 30s. You see what I'm saying? And then you're going to say, hey, DJ, in your 50s, I want to look at this at 65 and 72. So I got to plant them seeds in the ground right now, even if I'm struggling. But if I got my health, all of this is accomplishable. And then another thing you're going to do an account rebalance in your whole portfolio. And then you're going to apply this other technical strategy that we teach in the 5 Rules of Money in our Family Finance 101 course. We're going to do dollar cost averaging and asset allocation. And the reason why we're going to do that, Ericka, is because 94.7% of all portfolio success, and this was done by the Harvard Review 20 years ago, is based on your first acquisition of the actual purchase. And this is what people fail to understand in all businesses, Ericka. You make your wealth on the purchase, not on the sale. I'm going to say that again. You make your wealth on the purchase, not on the sale. Because if you're smart and savvy like you are, Ericka, you're going to buy at a discount. And when you buy at a discount, guess what? You're going to absolutely have the purchasing power to sell at the highest part of the market without any stress. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Listen, they've got a lot of questions. You told them to ask you questions. So here you go. Blair McKenzie, your videos and posts always motivate me, especially when DJ comes on. I'm about to listen and cook, so I have to cook food to eat this weekend while I make my deliveries. Save money. I hear you. Roy Gibbs said, do you have to be an accredited investor?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Everything I'm talking to you about, Roy, is for the regular common Jill and Jane.
Sunflower power, you don't always have to stay in that state that you live in. Some of y'all are going to have to let that go. Let that drink go.
Man, guess what? You're right. Hey, here's the problem mentally. I don't understand this, Ericka. If you are in a high tax, high cost of living state, why are you in love with it? Hey, I like the sunshine and the ocean like anybody else does. But you don't know what I don't like? Being broke. So you know what I'm going to do, Sunflower? I'm going to go plant my seeds in Texas and Florida and build up that lifestyle. And then I'm going to go back and do Airbnb, VRBO, and enjoy it on my terms. See, that's a psychological block that you have. Invest. Let me ask you this, Sunflower. Do you have any type of paper assets? Do you have a Roth IRA? Do you contribute to a 401k? Do you have anything like that? A SEP? Are those all based in California? Think about that.
Which platform would be good to start?
Can you rephrase that question? What do you mean by which platform?
Re-say that again, Macamil. Sunflower, you have to find a cheaper market. There you go. And you guys, my computer, it might be dying here soon. Additional allowances work for single people without kids?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And again, let me preface this, Miss Lady L. I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not a tax attorney. So before you make any of these moves, number 1, consult with your accountant. And number 2, consult with your HR director. Guess what? By the way, we happen to have those on our staff. And one of Ericka's favorite people is Melvin Hobson. Melvin
like a football player in there and working in the office. He got a 6'7" football player in his office.
Yep, Melvin, 6'7", 320 pounds, and Melvin is an SPHR professional. That's the highest certification you can have as an HR consultant. And Lady L, he actually teaches HR departments of Fortune 50 companies how to actually do exact things I'm telling you about in terms of deductions, allowances, and get the proper, write-offs. And he also is a registered investment advisor. Guess what? In our little course, you get a consultation with him absolutely free. And that's a $500 value in and of itself. So if you're wise enough to invest in yourself, instead of investing in some, red bottoms or whatever, and you can invest in yourself a couple of, dollars, you can get our program right now and get a free consultation with Melvin, a free consultation with myself, and even a free consultation with our CPA.
Listen, I want y'all to understand, so many people come in here and they go, Ericka, people are always buying courses and selling courses. Listen, 90% of people don't finish courses. So when people tell me these sob stories, I don't particularly care anymore, because the people who want to take action will take action. The people who want to hop on the call and get the ABCs of wealth will get the ABCs of wealth. The people who are ready to change their lives, if you look out the window and you ain't felt no type of way about the gas, no type of way about the food, no type of way about your job, keep it moving. Keep doing what you're doing. If you feel good there, no problem. But I know when I get on the phone with people, they're like, I'm growing vegetables in my garden. I'm stocking up on stuff. I'm trying to save money. Okay, well, as long as you have a plan, right? Sunflower Power, is it risky to be a long distance landlord? It's risky to not be a landlord. It's risky to not invest.
Yep.
Let me see what else y'all got here. Oh, did you take equity out of the property?
Do I take equity out of the property to purchase another one every year? No, I do not. No, I do not.
Yeah.
No, I do not.
And I mean, and I know everybody's like BRRRR method, but here's something I want people to break down. I'm gonna talk about this. It's something I thought about the other day. $10,000, and I know y'all hear me say this all the time, right? $10,000 divided by 365 days is literally $27 a day. And people will literally go, Ericka, oh my God, 10K. Oh my God, like literally act like you are murdering their arm over $10,000. I want you to really think about that. $10,000 is $27 a day. That's it.
Well, let me ask you this.
Let's cut that in half. $13 a day. $13.69 is $5,000 at the end of the year.
Yep. And guess what? Cool Breeze, there's a lot of people on here like yourself that they're willing to partner together and actually leverage themselves into acquisition. Here's one thing.
If you actually inside of my Facebook group, there's two ladies that came together at the conference, met at the Classy Climb conference, and are now partners and work together in real estate and are cleaning up a property right now.
Oh my goodness.
It's a decision.
It's funny you said that, Ericka. Since we did the Classy Climb with you in Atlanta, I've met 10 people since that event that have partnered together, 5 people in 5 groups, and acquired about 8 properties.
Yeah.
All cash.
Yeah.
And here's the value of that, Cool Breeze, is remember when I talk about the STEAM, the science, the technology, the entrepreneurship, the access, and the mentorship, they already vetted because they already came through the Classy Climb. So they're dealing with like-minded people. And one person had time, one person had money. And then they vetted each other. And then they strategically went into an arrangement to leverage their assets to catapult them to the next level.
I'm telling you guys, I'm out of half the partnerships people talk to me about. They put them together without me even knowing. They came back and tell me later, Ericka, we just want to let you know in your class, in your masterminds, in your groups, we partnered together. And I'm like, thank you. I appreciate it. You're awesome.
Yeah, we don't take equity out, but we take equity out in bigger deals, like our commercial investments that we do.
Yeah, listen, John, finish the course you're already working on. 1 hour a day. Whatever course you're in, 1 hour a day. That's the key. But thank you for the super chat. Whenever you get a course, 1 hour a day, because I know when they go in your class, you make them take an assessment, correct?
You talking to me or you talking to him?
No, I'm talking to you. When they
So the requirements are for our Family Finance 101 program that we're offering we're throwing in the acquisition of the $15,000 investment. The first things are required even to talk to me, Ericka, you got to fill out a budget sheet. and a survey. It takes you only 2 minutes to do that. The budget sheet gives us the ability to find out where you are emotionally when it comes to your finances. The survey tells us what you want to do right now. And then what we do, Ericka, we give you 3 questions to ask us, which are serious. Mm-hmm. So now we're able to take everything that you were concerned about and bring it down to the basics and give you real, true, and tried success principles that we have accomplished. So you get the course, you get 3 hours of fundamental things to teach you how to get out of debt, increase your credit scores, add to the 5 rules of money in your emergency fund, your Roth IRA, your SEP, your HSA, your 401k. Then when we get those all lined up for you, if you already got those, we now put you into the opportunity to look at investment opportunities that you are qualified for. So if you are already positioned and you're qualified, all we have to do is see it on paper. If we see it on paper, then we show you the vehicles that we have been working on. Number 1, we're in the Detroit market before Ericka was in the market. Been in that market since 2005. 240 properties. We own them cash outright. 240.
Thank you for supporting some firepower.
Yeah. Number 2, we're actually in the premium liquor business. Tolero, which is a sponsor of both Ericka and mine. Number 3, we teach you how to acquire dividend stocks for your children. And then number 4, we actually teach you how to actually start your own business and or invest in your business. We actually look at 10 business opportunities every year, and we invest between $50,000 to $500,000 on people who are proven and have a model and a team that we can invest in. So we take you through that whole process and give you 3 consultations, a 3-hour course that's a value of over $900 easy for a little couple of bucks, and you get a complimentary consultation and you get access to these opportunities. And in the next 30 days, if you're a part of that team, we'll give you access to the deal we put together right now, and you can start on the top 5 secrets to building the P.O.M lifestyle. Or what you should do is find yourself somebody you can plug into, like the Classy Climb program or other of the actual partnerships that Ericka has and have vetted. I've had the pleasure of meeting about 6 of the awesome guys that she brought out on the tour, and all of them are solid. Every one of them solid. Got solid, great programs that you can actually benefit because they're actually walking the walk and doing the business. So that's what you would be looking at. A fundamental digital program that actually I use in corporate America. Let me say this. See, a lot of people coming out here and they read something, put something together real fast. This is stuff that I used with the YMCA 15 years ago. This is a course I've been paid to do for the Federal Reserve. This is a course I do with the Montgomery Regional Airport in Alabama. This is a course, the same course, just updated, that I use for the Attorney General's office for the state of Illinois young attorneys in 2006. This is the same course, Ericka, I used for the state of Michigan, teaching predatory lending in 2007. So only reason why mine is digital is because I transferred it to a digital model. I didn't just—
And that's what? Digital real estate, y'all.
Yeah. So that's the difference between mine and 98%. I hate to say it, 98% of people, they went out, got some success, and that's awesome, but they wasn't doing this with corporations. They weren't doing this with eWomen Network. If anybody on this platform ever heard of eWomen Network, go to eWomenNetwork.com. That's the largest professional network for women in the America and Canada. eWomen Network, headquartered right out of Dallas. Guess what? I used to be an instructor on their platform teaching small business applications for them in 2008 and 2009. And the average income of these professional ladies is $70,000. Mm-hmm. So that's the difference in what we do. And matter of fact, we're about to do another program with the small business, 100 Black women owners in Dallas. And it's not a digital course that we're doing. We're doing the actual course where they fly us out and do that face to face with them. That's the difference between what we do and what the other folks do. And we actually have an actual team that's been down with me for 17 years, 18 years, 15 years, 10 years. Everybody on that team, which Ericka knows, ain't none of them been on my program other than Nick is my business manager for less than 10 years. And all of them have massive receipts in corporate America. Does that make sense? So if you are one of those people, the first 10 people, Ericka, tonight, we're giving that program to at a deep discount if they want to get onto the pathway of the acquisition of the homes. We're only going to work with 10 people. That's it. So the first 10 people that jump on and want to invest in themselves, they get the magic, success of overnight of 20 years. For
sure. Well, look, you guys, listen, I'm going to finish this class. I'm going to enjoy the rest of Puerto Rico. Hold up that book, ABCs of Wealth, and tell them where they can find you on this internet, because they do be asking about that book in the comment section. It ain't on Amazon. You got to hit up direct source. Yep.
And you know why I'm not on Amazon? Because Amazon don't do nothing for me as DJ the Money Coach.
I'm telling y'all.
100% of the proceeds go to our operation to help our people. So if you just want the ABCs of Wealth, you can get it at a link that Nick will provide to Ericka, or you can go directly to djthemoneycoach.com, djthemoneycoach.com, or you can hit us on IG at 7 Spheres of Money, the number 7, SPHERES of MONEY, money, or YouTube. Or if you're smart, you can just hit that link with the actual video to get that right now. No, only active executive members can get the property, but you can get this deal right now, Sacred Rebel. That's a great question, because I can't guarantee you that you are qualified to buy that $15,000 house, but I can get you qualified through the course right now tonight. I love the fact that you read.
Listen, accredited investors, sophisticated investors, educated, like, you guys understand, people have to be, first you got to do an assessment, right? Then from the assessment, determine is this person qualified financially, mentally, are they able to actually invest with you? This is a very important process. So yes, that's what that means. Whatever, I can't give away his information on his real estate project, but his real estate project that they are working on, if you want to get into that, let them break that down with you on a free phone call.
So Sacred Rebel, just to get in the course, this is all you got to do is fill out this little survey. You see that? It's 10 questions. Tell me a little bit about you. Send your budget, just like going to the doctor. And then if you are all lined up, then you can actually get into acquisition of the actual property. And this is what my grandfather always told me: the big print give it, and the little print take it away. And I can't give you something that I don't know you qualified for. And that's the reason why I'm proud. 20 years in this business, Ericka. When I was securities licensed, and I'm still life, health, and property casualty licensed, I have never had a complaint on my license. You can actually go to FINRA.org, FINRA.org, and you can look up my CRD number, and I've never had a complaint against me because I vet everybody. Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, Chandra is a financial analyst, and she just went through our program a couple of weeks ago, and she loved it. Young, sharp, go-getter, and she just needed a little bit of tweaking done to her program, and she's on the right pathway now.
My computer's about to die. Hey, you guys, this is your girl Ericka, Classic Line Blog. All the cords are downstairs. We're having a downstairs meeting. So sorry about that, you guys. Listen, check out the information in the description. If you have more questions, hit up his team. I also have his email. I'll go to the community page. And
you can call me at 866-395-3042. 866-395-3042 if you like to hit the phone lines.
All right, you guys, there you go. You have it. Listen, thank you so much, DJ. Plenty of money and peace of mind. Pom lifestyle, you guys. Enjoy your afternoon. Everybody have a good night. Look, quality. That's what he said. Quality in this. All right, guys.
Enjoy Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Listen, a man got mad at me today because I didn't speak Spanish. I'm like, sir, just curly hair. I don't know no Spanish. You just got to be mad with me.
Hey, just tell him, yo quiero, no sé qué,
I don't know.
Hey,